Hello everybody, it's Primalism. Just woke up today. It's about 5 days into eating the one meal a day, raw meats only diet, which includes fat, organs, and muscle meat. Of course, I'm eating as much as I want to, at that meal. As a matter of fact, yesterday I wasn't even that strict about it. Like halfway through the day, I was like, I really want a spoonful of beef fat. So I went and I got a spoonful of beef fat. So I'm not like trying to restrict myself. That's not the point of this at all. However, I do know as an acne-prone person, the process of autophagy is very incredible. Something that I notice is that you see like raw vegans and stuff, and these people who eat nothing but like, fruits and veggies and whatnot. And I just noticed that they all had really nice skin. Now, of course, they are like skin and bones. They have nothing on their body. So it's not necessarily a good thing. However, it's that process of them like starving themselves. I'm not advocating for you to starve yourself like a raw vegan starves themselves, but after about 16 hours of just not having any food in your stomach, your body starts the process of autophagy, which is like cell turnover, where it like gets rid of the old cells and it kind of like recycles stuff. I think too much of that is bad, but like kind of hitting a sweet spot of that, I feel like it helps reduce inflammation, it helps do a lot of different things. So I would only I can't really recommend this for anybody. This is really just kind of like an experiment that I'm doing on myself. I really think that it's not necessarily the healthiest way to do things, just one meal a day, but it can be done. And there's reasons why I'm doing it. Some people have asked, like, why do you have acne if you've been eating if you've been eating this diet for 6 years? I have been eating this diet for 6 years. I never said that. I've never been on a strict diet for 6 years. So I just wanted to clarify that. That is why I get acne, because, I'll eat whatever I want. And sometimes I don't care if I get the acne. So I'll just do things that are stupid. I'll just chug honey while I'm eating raw meat. I'll do stupid things that like you're not supposed to do. So that's why. Sometimes I don't care, but this time, I have a vision in mind for this, and it actually stems from acne. It's a really big issue that people struggle with. I myself get it. Now, haven't really been bothered by it lately. However, there are a lot of people who are seriously affected by it, and I think it's really sad that there seems to be no natural like protocol for a lot of different people like get rid of it. I've tried so many different natural things and nothing has ever seemed to like fully cure it, except for this one thing that I'm doing right now, which is eating nothing but meat, fat, and organs. The one meal a day thing is just like an extra experiment that I'm doing to see if the autophagy gives benefits as well, just to see how fast all this happens. I think that in my mind, it can only be positive just due to how it reduces inflammation. Anyways, that's really a lot to digest. The reason why I'm doing it is because I think it would be cool to maybe help somebody else out with this in the future. What I mean by that is like, sort of like I would like to, if somebody's like open and willing and like has really bad skin, and I know there are lots of people out there who do have really bad skin. Acne is a very common issue, but I would like to, if you're somebody who like struggles with this, obviously wait until you see the results of what I get. But I think I have this vision of ultimately helping somebody who is in that position, who has maybe tried the, raw milk, raw honey, the perfect primal approach, who didn't get like perfect results from it. And maybe like help that one person through, just kind of like consult them and give them ideas of how to like eat a raw meat, raw fat. Obviously you can just Google it, but I would love to like document it there with you, just so we can like kind of show that this is a legitimate cure for acne. And maybe it's not a cure. Maybe, I don't know, but because some people might argue, well, if you only eat raw meat and organs and fat and stuff like that, you become intolerant and you develop like intolerances to other foods or whatever. So in that way, like it could be like, yeah, maybe you have no acne, but now you can no longer experience all of the flavors of all these other foods. I get it. But what if you view it from the idea of, I believe, I do have this belief, whether it's delusional or whether it's accurate, is that animals are supposed to be eating a natural diet. of raw foods, like all animals do. Man is a carnivore, I believe, a scavenger, carnivore, predator. We're supposed to be eating meat, and I think that it's our natural diet. So I don't necessarily think that we're supposed to be eating all these other things. And also, like, dairy into adulthood. Were we designed to be eating dairy into adulthood? I don't know. Some people tolerate it just fine. I myself do not. Now I still probably will give it a try, as I have said. Anyways, that's probably enough for this little morning rant. It's going to be nice and warm today, so I am going to probably be wearing shorts for the first time in quite a while I go for my walk. It'll be interesting to see, but it has been so cold. So today I'm going to be having this beef heart here. I was going to have beef belly, but I forgot to thaw it out, unfortunately, and this thaws way faster. I've also got some beef liver here, a little under a pound. This is nice and red. This is going to be so good. Got some just regular ground beef from the grocery store, organic grass-fed. And then we've also got the raw fat. I'll show you guys a little bit about what the beef belly looks like. Looks pretty good, huh? Now we're going like full-on vlog style here. So yeah, today was like a really good day. I spent a lot of time out in the sun. I went on a couple different walks, and like there were so many people outside. I can't remember like the last time I went on a walk and saw so many people. Like, I have not enjoyed a nice warm day outside in like a while, to be honest, guys. Like, I have been so down the past few years, and just like holding myself down and just not enjoying anything, and being able to see all that was great. I got some great sunlight today, and I am just so happy at the moment. And I do appreciate all of you guys on the channel here. And if you guys have anything that you want to see made into a video, I think you guys have better ideas than I do. Frankly, I think some of the ideas you guys give me are actually so freaking good. You have no idea. And I love making videos like that, because sometimes when I try to think of a video idea, it's like, I don't know, like you get in your head, but when somebody else gives me a video idea, it's like, now that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just going to start cutting up all this meat, and I can't wait to dig in. I always start by sharpening my knife, because it's not the best knife, and it's not the best knife, and it gets dull very fast. Sorry about the noise. I gotta make sure I don't do stupid stuff like that. Start with the heart. Heart, it smells so good. I love the smell of heart. Heart has become my favorite organ, hands down. I used to kind of not really give it so much credit, because the hearts that I have had just hadn't been that good. But this heart, I can't even, guys. Go ahead and just cut all this up into small pieces. I don't really like ripping it apart that much. I prefer to eat it like a civilized human being. And I might not eat all this in one sitting, but I'll try for sure. Okay, heart is chopped thoroughly. Now that we have the heart chopped up, we're gonna go ahead and chop up the liver. It's got some like fibrous membrane type stuff on it. I've never experienced liver with that sort of stuff, but it's not the worst thing in the world. See that kind of like fibrous stuff on it? I'm not used to that on a liver. I think the redder the liver is, the better it is. Like sometimes I'll get liver and it'll be kind of light brown. I don't necessarily fancy that kind of liver very much. I don't know if it's just, I think it might be an oxidation problem when it gets light brown. It also kind of gets a little dry and
juicy like this. Sometimes you guys leave like some comments that'll catch my attention, just some things that you say that I like think about some things, trying to think of an example. Like when you guys talk about, like getting organs for the first time or something like that, I can just like totally relate to that experience. And sourcing food and just like really getting started with all this stuff. I can really, really relate to that experience. And it's interesting being on this side of it, or like I've done it for a while. I'm not like a guru or some all-knowing person, but it's just cool to see because I was there too. I was right there. Luckily for us, all these different websites that buy meat have really made this much easier than it used to be. Crack open this ground beef. Here's a pro tip, guys. Cut open half of the package. That way, you can just take out one half, like this. Unk mode, bro. And then you just close it up. That's how you know. You can even wrap it, wrap it around like that, keep it more fresh. Do you like that? Now that we've got that, we're gonna eat all of this fat on this sitting. I am confident, and we probably might even have even more. All right, so everything fully assembled here. Wish I didn't have to get the ground beef. I really don't like this ground beef too much, but it'll do. The ground trim fat is the highlight of the meal. Fat is just the best. You just have to eat tons of it. We've got the raw beef liver here with that like connective tissue nonsense going on. And then we've got my favorite raw heart, guys. It's just looking fantastic. It's just looking so fantastic. Okay, that's everything. I can't wait to eat. All right, so here we are. Lots and lots of meat to eat. I'm not sure if I'll eat this whole thing, but you gotta give your body enough food. You can't be undereaten. Definitely different eating liver with this extra like connective tissue sort of stuff. It's kind of hard. It gets stuck between your teeth. You gotta fish it out with your tongue. Hard with beef fat. It's just the best. That's some good liver too. That's some good liver. Liver that you buy frozen, it can sometimes taste a little funky, or just so good liver, if it gets funky or if it gets messed up, really the worst that can happen to it is that it's just going to be a little bit oxidized and brown. Bad liver is going to be like rotten tasting and gross. Sometimes the liver, like the one I had yesterday, was a little bit oxidized, which I do not like. But this here, the nice dark red color, it's the best. This ground beef from the grocery store is not that great. Again, I said, I've been eating this for many, many years, and this particular brand, I found it really only keeps like for 2 days. It's not the best. And it doesn't smell that great. It goes really good with butter though. So I did check and I found out that the meat Frank uses has no antibiotics and is completely unjabbed. Just another reason to go for this stuff. If you've forgotten for some reason, we have the raw heart, the raw liver, the beef fat, and the ground beef. This may have been completely unnecessary. Now, while I'm eating, I'm gonna look at comments actually. Brains and heart are the more safe organs when eating it raw. A lot of toxins are going to be stored in the liver, so watch out for that. That's a good point that I haven't actually thought of. That's interesting. So the liver, you think, stores most of the toxins? I've heard, honestly, that the liver filters the toxins. Yeah, definitely the safest stuff to eat if you're concerned about like it being toxic is just muscle meat for the most part. I don't know about that heart part. That's interesting. I can see it though. I'm not the kind of person who researches stuff like religiously, you know. Maybe I will. If I had more time, I definitely would read more books about nutrition and stuff. I'm a big reader. I like to read and learn about things. NCOV706 asks, or says, where I live, it's illegal to butcher animals on your own, so I guess I'll only have access to conventional meat. Should I take the risk of eating it raw anyway? I've done it a few times and haven't really felt anything except a slight discomfort in my stomach. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people now say that they get like stomach aches when they eat raw meat, which is interesting. I would just have to ask like what is the bulk of your diet right now, you know? Obviously it is conventional meat, so like if you're concerned that that is a problem, it could be a problem. Like that actually could be a problem. Definitely like if you're starting raw meat, like get rid of all of the factors that could be issues potentially and eat like the cleanest raw meat that you can. That way you can rule out that it's not some other bull crap. That's my answer for anybody who's eating raw meat and feeling discomfort. Go eat the cleanest raw meat that you can, spend the extra money, and then if you feel something bad, I guess raw meat's not good for you, I don't know. If you feel something bad, either give up or you can be like, maybe I'm just going through some kind of a detox or something. Hey Broski2853 says, thanks so much for answering all these questions. You are a real one. Thank you, bro. Correlation Manifestation says, I just got some liver I ordered online, and like you said, I'm going to test out a small amount, but I'm not sure how much I can safely test. I obviously want to eat an amount that will give me that will give me symptoms if it's toxic, but not so much that I'll get full food poisoning. Interesting. But yeah, good luck with the liver, bro. I'm still curious exactly where you got it from. Justin Vargas says, I always wondered why we don't eat carnivorous animals. I think the reason we don't really is because, I don't know, they'd just be a pain in the ass to like farm, right? You know, you'd just be like trying to farm a wolf and then all of a sudden you get your throat ripped out. Also, carnivorous animals are just smaller, leaner, you don't have as much fat. Somebody said, good luck with raw bear meat. Exactly, like that dude's gonna tear your throat out. Man, those would be some of the hardest farmers who ever existed, bro. Like, farming bears. It'd be like those Russian dudes who like wrestle with the bears. Great topic, bro. What are your thoughts on blood? Do you find it difficult to get? Video soon with blood stuff. I got some $4 liver at an Asian market. Not much info on where it came from, but it tasted pretty good. Yeah, like sometimes, bro, like you'll find a gem just in like the randomest place. Like there's this place in town here that I haven't been to in a while, but it's just some like Muslim dude by himself, doesn't even speak English. He's got a little butcher shop in like the middle of this kind of like ghetto strip mall. And I went in there and I was able to get like fresh brains, fresh all sorts of stuff. It was crazy. He like took me to the back where he had all the organs and like showed me like all these fresh organs, and he was just trying to get me to buy like all of it at once. And I was like, no, can I just like a pound? It ended up not being that great. I think it was lamb. Again, lamb or goat or something. It had a very goaty or lamby flavor to my memory. Yeah, you find like the coolest stuff at the randomest places. Then he tried to give me rice pudding. Is that like a Muslim thing or something? I don't know. I did not eat it, by the way. And there's a question there, do I make any money off of my YouTube? No, I do not make money off of my YouTube. But like, it definitely is a goal. Like, I would love to do this for a living. Like, eat raw meat and help people eat raw meat and just like promote the diet and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like, if I could do that, I would do it for sure. I'm not gonna do it in some slimy way or like try to do some weird stuff or anything like that. I'm gonna keep it real, guys. I have gotten raw liver, grass-fed, 0 antibiotics, 0 vaccines, yet it tasted bad. How do I get good liver? See, it's hard to say, bro. I mean, you just had grass-fed, 0 antibiotics, 0 vaccines. At that point, you have to be like, okay, is the issue the liver or is the issue me? The issue might just be that you need to get more accustomed to the flavor of liver. When I first started eating liver, it was rough. It was so rough. And you really do kind of have to force yourself to eat it. I'm not embarrassed to say that, and I'll admit it. This stuff isn't the tastiest food. You know what the tastiest food on the planet is? It's food that's been engineered in a laboratory to satisfy like all of your senses. Engineered in a laboratory. So you're comparing this to food that's been engineered in a laboratory to taste good. Think about that. Naturally, like we want to eat those foods that are crazy engineered. You know, if you have been eating those foods all your life, you're naturally going to crave that. This is kind of it's kind of funny to say, this is kind of an unnatural thing to do, and I'll admit it as somebody who does it and believes in it. I know this is pretty unnatural, forcing stuff that doesn't taste that great into my mouth. Now, it does taste good to me relative to other raw meat that I've eaten. That's the thing. That's the thing. Heart pairs so well with fat. It's a combination that was made in heaven. Tons of vitamin A. I think I may be getting close to full. You really don't need much protein when you've got all this fat here. It's crazy. I think the one I want to finish though is going to be the liver, just because. Just thinking about here, like, what am I craving here? I actually don't know if I'm craving the liver. Let me get another bite of it. I would be craving it more if it didn't have all this connective tissue stuff on it, I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't be ashamed of not wanting to eat that. Okay, any more things I want to answer here? Dude, how do you eat frozen organs? Like, frozen liver tastes so... it's okay to curse. Dude, how do you eat frozen organs? Like, frozen liver tastes so shit to me. Is there something wrong with me? You have to get delusional, bro. You have to, like, trick yourself in your head. You have to be like, oh, this tastes so good. But again, what is the quality? Is it the highest quality? If it is the highest quality and you still don't like it, maybe the problem is just that it's frozen. Fresh liver does taste significantly better. So try it fresh. You'll see it'll taste a lot better. Frozen liver is just more convenient. In many places, grass-fed animals are not processed at the same rates that grain-fed animals are, so it's going to be frozen. What I responded to him was, it can take some mental fortitude. I'm one of the minority of people who will admit that it's not necessarily the tastiest food in the world. It's possible you may have had bad liver, but if it's good liver and you still don't like it, it may just take some getting used to. When I eat, flavor isn't my main priority, but rather nourishing myself is. Moonvril asks, I understand that. Do you think it's worth the effort to try and get fresh instead of frozen? I can easily get high quality frozen, but I avoid it. Should I reconsider in your opinion? I'm guessing frozen liver is better than no liver. I think in your case it is worth the effort to try to get fresh. See what it's like. Experience it, you know, as good as it can be, as I've been saying here. Yeah, frozen liver is easier to get, for sure. But yeah, try fresh liver. See what it's really like. And then maybe it'll be so good that it'll be worth the extra effort of getting it. Raw beef fat cured my dry scalp from Nature's the Only Way. That's awesome. I never had like dryness issues at all. It's always been maybe the opposite. He cured it by rubbing it in his hair, not a ton, but whatever is left on his hands after eating. If you do this all the time, it might make your hair too greasy though. And then Nature is triumphant. He's been saying some really nice stuff to me. I really appreciate all your comments, bro. It's so beautiful, noble, and high vibration. You look like a king. This is what I associate with this way of eating. Not Hollywood movies. I think wealth, high class, vibration, nobility, beauty, compassion, positivity, creativity, kindness, and love. And these are the things, guys, that I'm trying to come back to this channel with. Just like being positive, making this not so crazy. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Like, I'm not trying to scare people away. I'm trying to bring people in and ask questions and want to like try things out. You know, I really am trying that. I'm trying a whole new approach, you know, to what I have seen and experienced. And then we've got EH97. He said, "What is frozen beef liver?" This was so funny. He said, "What is frozen beef liver?" He used a word that I didn't understand. I have never eaten fresh liver. Is fresh liver tastier than frozen liver? I said, "Yes, frozen." I thought he was asking me, "What is frozen beef liver?" So I was like, frozen is like when you store something below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then he was like, "No, I know what that means," but like, he was asking what this phrase I said when I said hit or miss, you know? I said like really fast and he didn't understand. I thought that was funny, bro. I like explained to him what frozen liver was. It's like, yeah, you put it in the freezer. Like, I wasn't trying to be rude. Someone asked, is it possible, or Sumi asks, is it possible to get non-satanic eggs at a supermarket? I said that supermarket eggs were satanic in my raw meat tier list video, and they are, bro. Like, you cannot get good eggs at a supermarket no matter what you do. It's hard. Even the best stuff, like, it's still got issues. Do you have any stress? Just work and stuff, bro. Just work. Every bite of heart I take is just, I love it. Every bite. Yeah, like, I don't even want to eat this grocery store beef anymore. Like, something about it is so off-putting to me now. But yeah, I would say I'm gonna try to eat a little bit more fat. I think I had enough. I'm saving the rest for later. Alrighty, guys, there you go. Full raw carnivore meal. Fat, organs, muscle meat. Doesn't get much more pure carnivore than that. You know, take that, all you carnivores who are making vegan looking recipes with meat products. This is the real carnivore diet. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you guys have any video suggestions, anything you'd like to see or anything you want answered, please let me know and I will try to get to it as best as I can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next one.